Pikachu. What a great comparison I'm about to make here. Once upon a time, Pokemon didn't exist, then it did, it got really popular. What did the company do? They gave you Pikachu, and they kept on giving you Pikachu. They decided that there needed to be a mascot for this, and Ash's first Pokemon was that mascot. Not Clefairy, not Jigglypuff, not Hitmonlee, Pikachu. And throughout the years, we've seen Pikachu make major appearances. Now, there are other Pokemon, 151, and there were even more. To this day, there's about 1,000 of them. And with every generation, we learned about another Pikachu-looking kind of, this is what evolves into Pikachu. He's Pichu, or she. There's also these Pokemon, Plusle and Minun, because in the new games, you could have double battles, and they needed to represent that. They did a cool thing. Pachirisu's success and popularity didn't come at the cost of Pikachu. We still saw year after year at the Macy's Thanksgiving Parade, the Pikachu float. He was featured on Super Smash Bros. No matter what Lucario was able to accomplish, they had Pikachu. Now, Pikachu has a type, it's an electric type. Let's talk about T'Challa. T'Challa's got a type also, doesn't he? But did they ever say for Pikachu, like, we've got other electric types. Let's stop using Pikachu for Magnemite, for Elekid, Blitzel, Jolteon 2. Because, boss, I just saw Marvel do a thing where Black Panther's type got so popular, they started making money off of Gentle, and Tosin, and Wakabi, and Cyan. The similarities, he's a Pokemon. The similarities of what Nintendo has, a brand of many Pokemon, of many games, and within that franchise is a Pokemon. Just like Marvel. Disney has many of these brands within them. There's Marvel. Within Marvel, they have all these superheroes. They have Avengers, they have X-Men, they have all these guys. And within that brand, they have a single character called T'Challa. When T'Challa got hot in 2018, when he became, a success, did they do what every other business in the history of the world did and put gasoline on that fire? They didn't do what happened with women's basketball, Caitlin Clark. Or if we're keeping it movies, John Wick got hot. Well, we should get a sequel in here really quickly. And let's use him more. And the spin-offs of John Wick isn't coming at the cost of John Wick himself. Let's look at Shrek. After the first success of Shrek, when nobody knew who this character was, they didn't think about doing a movie about Shrek's wife. Donkey and everyone still exists and still can be successful characters in the franchise. Puss in Boots can spin off. But I never saw Puss in Boots come at the cost of Shrek. Goku. Who are all these characters in the history of money and business? We've never seen you do what happened to T'Challa. There's a really successful character and he's not being treated the way Pikachu's being treated. For those of us keeping track, so far there's a video game that's been announced called the Black Panther video game, and it doesn't have the word T'Challa in here once. If this is one of those, you get to name your own character. That's not what Pikachu got. You didn't get to name your own Pikachu, and he wouldn't be called Pikachu during the game. You can nickname Pokemon, but that's still Pikachu. It's still the same one. The same species. It's the same Pokemon. Ash Ketchum would never catch an electric type Pokemon ever in the game. He caught so many others of these 16 types. And he would get featured and that Pokemon would get screen time. And with every new region that he goes to, which Pokemon has many regions, just like Marvel has many regions, exploring a Pokemon from another region didn't take away from Pikachu. The way that they can explore a region where Black Panther is from, or even Black Panther's history, didn't come at the cost of Pikachu. You know what I mean. This is hard to talk about, but I'm just trying to show the differences between these two. I'll make another comparison. The Pokemon Company was doing themed Pikachu. There was a Lucha version. Check them out in this outfit, that outfit. In Black Panther, they always, since Chadwick Boseman's death, used a different Black Panther. So there's a video game happening in the 1948s. They decided to use Black Panther of that generation to make you think of Black Panther without thinking of T'Challa. They're disassociating him. If you're thinking that's just time appropriate, why wouldn't it be him? I'm telling you that there is a force, and it's a racist one, that Kevin Feige is the president of this Marvel Studios. I'm telling you that there are people who want you to think of Black Panther, but ignore the character to do damage to the successful brand that is happening. And I'm using that video game where it goes back in the past with a Black Panther. I guess it's appropriate as one of my examples. Recently in X-Men 97, we got to see the Black Panther. Everyone thinks it's who else would be the Black Panther? We see that Storm and the X-Men are around. They just adapted a storyline that took place in 2001, E for Extinction, that was written by Grant Morrison. Who was the Black Panther when we were reading those comics? Who else would be the Black Panther in this time period where Peter Parker has finished high school, he's dating women now, living on his own, that Peter Parker is Spider-Man? Who else in every other iteration of Marvel or reboot of Marvel or version of telling the story at Marvel is the Black Panther? Not to mention in the 90s, there was a cartoon of the Fantastic Four where where T'Challa was talking about how his dad died 10 years ago. Who else could this have been? Nah. They used the word T'Chaka. They would retcon their own cartoon, which I just mentioned, and retcon its existence in this universe to not have him on screen. The greatest character, most aspirational character there is. The most stereotype, challenging character that exists. A character who white people saw and appreciated and didn't associate him with something negative like jail or whatever else are commonly used. He was of the status of mankind that is, let's just say, the top half status, as opposed to the bottom half. He was a king. The status which you thought of him was nice. It was already leading to better perception of people with melanin in their skin, and a lot of it. It was a great thing. Nah, we can't have T'Challa on screen anymore. Why would we include him? It's gonna be his dad in this TV show. Yeah, that's make sure that we better make sure that there's a word in there that alludes that it is King T'Chaka. We better have that sentence in there. No T'Challa.
For only history could be conned into forgiving us.
Sir, King T'Chaka is right.
We're gonna go out of our way a second time, right? It's not just a video game that happened in the past with his granddad. This is another time we're gonna have Black Panther. Don't think about him. How about a movie? Shuri, yo, pull up his sister. She needs to be a Black Panther. I read the comic books. Yeah, those comic books do exist. I did a video on it too. I did a couple of them, and you can see exactly how long Shuri was the Black Panther and where was Black Panther during that time. He was around. He was in the comics. But when you think of Black Panther, don't think about him. Why would you think about the Black Panther who's been in over 200 comic books? Why would you think of the character who was created in the 60s and continued until today? No, think about his sister. Duh. Oh, I guess you hate women, huh? That was a period in time that I hated. And then here comes this new character that they created at the end. Oh, you guys want T'Challa recast? Are you no gooders? Little boy, right here. Boom. Little child. You guys like TJ? He's going to be called T'Challa too. So you can't complain. You're getting a guy named T'Challa. Yeah. Anything. Now, they're not just diluting the word Black Panther. They're diluting the word T'Challa. Which one? Which T'Challa? Wake up. Pikachu didn't get that. They didn't go, which Pikachu? They made sure that you were thinking about Emolga or Dedenne or Alolan Raichu. Palmy. They made sure that you knew that, or what's it, Morpeko. They made sure that these are called different Pokemon, even though we can kind of see that they're doing a little, I can see it spinning off Pikachu, but they're definitely not the same species. And during all those regions, Ash Ketchum was carrying around Pikachu right on his shoulder top. Wouldn't even go in the Pokeball. That's how much screen time he needed. I don't think even, did they change voice actors? I think the voice actor for Pikachu in Japan is also, because I mean, they're not words, the same actor. And they kept the name the same brand. Pikachu, whether you're in Canada, America, wherever. The word for Charizard is like Rizardon. There's a couple of Pokemon who've changed their names, because they gotta be puns. Not with Pikachu. No, we need this brand to be a success all over, globally recognized. And it's, Pikachu rolls off the tongue. It's not an English word. I'm not even sure what they're spinning off of Pikachu, what it really means in the Japanese language. But I can accept it, and that brand got across. Black Panther, T'Challa. Arthur Curry, Aquaman. Spider-Man, Peter Parker. Every other Spider-Man is an alternate, and it's understood to be so. Who's Superman? It's not Calvin Ellis. It's Kal-El Clark Kent. This isn't paranoia, imaginative oppression. This is straight up and deliberate. Compared to every other time something gets hot, you capitalize on that. Oh, Bluey is really successful. We capitalize on Bluey. What just took off? High School Musical? Really? Well, what are we gonna do? A sequel of High School Musical with Troy and Gabriella? I mean, how about High School Musical, the musical? We're not gonna play around when a brand gets hot. We don't talk about other characters. We go with the leads over and over again.